welcome to Information Please, your Peoria Public Library in the air, bringing you information about your library and your community. And this evening, my guest is Amanda Doyle, who's our children's librarian at Peoria Public Library, McClure Branch. Sorry, probably knew that. And she's going to tell us about an exciting program we have coming up that's going to challenge all of our District 150 students. Hi, Amanda.
Hi.
This is your first time on our show, so thanks so much for coming.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I'm excited.
Breaking new barriers in communication here. But you're also breaking new barriers because you've come up with this program that all the libraries and all the District 150 schools are going to participate in. Can you tell us what the name is?
Sure. It's called Show Me Your Library Card. It started with just a conversation with one of the District 150 librarians. She asked, well, how many students have library cards? And we don't have a good answer for that.
Right.
So I came up with this idea of kind of making it a contest for the kids and the students that they bring in their library card to show to either their school librarian or one of our branch libraries. Their school get credit for the student having the card, and we'll have 3 winning schools, a first, second, and third place with the students who have the most cards. And hopefully it'll be a great success.
It's a competition between the schools. It's like, can your school win? Have you got that school spirit? Is it all the schools, high schools?
It's all District 150 schools, high school, K through high school.
Any school that falls under that District 150 designation.
Correct.
Can compete and see who's the grand winner of who's got the most library cards.
Yeah, like I said, we're going to do a first, second, third place. So the schools that win can have that bragging rights of having the students with the most library card, owners, I guess, or that go to the library that often. So we really want to pump it up to encourage kids to come to both their school library, but also the public library.
Yeah, but with having it at the school or the public library, that means like if your mom and dad can't drive you to the library during that time period, you can still do it with your school librarian by showing them.
Exactly. A lot of kids can't get to our public library, but they still have a card.
Yeah.
And
because we have so many things you can use from school.
Correct. All our online databases and, our homework help. So a lot of kids do have library cards. They just don't come to the library regularly enough.
As often.
So.
Well, it's hard when parents are working and some are working 2 jobs and you got a lot of commitments. It can be difficult. What are the dates for this competition?
It starts in April. It's April 6th through the 19th. It's going to last 2 weeks. That second week is National Children's Library Book Week.
Yeah.
I forget, one of the library.
Children's Book Week?
Yeah, there you go. Children's Book Week.
Yeah.
So that's what we thought was a good time to end with this program because it incorporates this not very well known library holiday that we really like to push about kids books and children's books.
And April is National Library Month. It's National Poetry Month. There's a lot of focus on books and reading every April and on the importance of libraries. And we should probably point out the fact that just recently here the Peoria Public Library amended our intergovernmental agreement, which is about a year old now, with District 150. And we've got a wonderful opportunity because this is a hard concept to understand. And there was a great article in the Journal Star that pretty well defined it. But the Peoria Public Library covers the city boundaries of Peoria. School district boundaries don't match up with that. And you're entitled to a Peoria Public Library library card if you live within the city limits and your tax bill shows that you paid that little tax to Peoria Public Library. But when you look at like Dunlap School District, 70% of the kids that go to Dunlap School District live in Peoria. Quite a few kids who live in West Peoria come to Peoria District 150 schools, and they aren't in the city, and they aren't entitled to a library card. So what do you do for these kids? Their classmates all have the advantage of having our library card, being able to use databases at home, all of that. So what we've done is amended our intergovernmental agreement, and there's going to be a way for those students who attend a District 150 school to get a Peoria Public Library card. Anybody can have a library card if they pay. It's $133 this year. You can buy a library card, which some families did, some don't, some can't afford that. some people don't understand, because they don't have a library card, they don't understand everything we can do for a student. Things like brain fuse, one-on-one homework help at home over the computer. Just absolutely amazing things we can offer these days. So that is going to be, we have to work out the hows, and we're going to be working with the schools. And I know it's going to be hard for people to understand why, if you have a child in a school in Peoria, but it's not District 150, it's a private school, it's a parochial school, this isn't going to apply to you. And it's library law. As people go, library law, what's that? There are very strict laws that govern the use of libraries, and the Illinois law, library law, says that you can only do it if you have an intergovernmental agreement with the school, and District 150 is the only school we have that with. And District 150 is going to have to give us something of value in order to sort of pay for those library cards. And that might be something like bringing in an author or bringing in some other program for us, and it'll all work out and everybody will have something great.
Well, it's exciting, and I know a lot of us in the library are happy about this, because it is hard to turn away a kid, a student, who needs a library card for a research project or whatever, and we have to say, I'm sorry, and so
you can use it, but only can use it here.
So it's a happy and exciting thing that the students will be able to have this opportunity to get a library card.
Yeah.
And they really need it.
Yeah. And we should remind people who don't live in the city that they can purchase the card from us. They can purchase one from one of the other libraries. The only thing is, you have to have our library card if you want to use our databases. And we have a tremendous number of them that I'm not sure some of the other libraries have. So you may want to do some comparison shopping there if you do that.
Yeah.
But Show Me Your Library Card is an exciting way to maybe get some kids to apply too that haven't had library cards up to this point.
Yeah, and that will count. The student doesn't necessarily have to have a card right away, but if they apply, we'll count that towards the school as well. We're not taking kids, even if you have an expired card or your card has fines, we're going to accept that.
Yeah,
that'll also be a good time for you to renew your library card, update your information with us. We're not going to turn away a kid with a card, because we want to know these numbers of what students have these library cards, because then we can pinpoint our efforts into helping kids who don't have library cards be able to get them, bringing them into the library, letting them learn about the public library and what we offer. And so I just thought this would be a fun way to do it, and so it doesn't seem like a chore or a task,
or like we're doing an inquisition.
Yeah, no, it's help your school win. First place gets a trophy and $100 that their librarian can choose and buy books for their library. Second place is a trophy as well, $75. Third place is $50 and a trophy, and then there'll be one high school winner. So not only does the school get the recognition of having all these students who are active participants in the public library, but they also can get a new set of books that they really need for their libraries. And I know the school librarians are very excited about that as well.
Yeah.
And then with the trophy, kids can walk by and say, I helped get that. That was me. And so that's exciting too.
Yeah, and that is kind of cool for kids who maybe don't do athletics or any of the other activities. All it takes is showing your library card, and you're a part of the winning. And of course, we have to thank the Friends of Peoria Public Library for providing the funds to do all this for the trophies and the prizes. But they down in our Friendly Finds bookstore, volunteering and sorting and pricing books, putting them on shelves so that people can buy books, and they're 25 cents and a dime, and they raise all this money to help fund programs like this and summer reading and so many of the other things that we do.
They're so very important. We couldn't do most things without them.
Yeah, and that's another thing that we get a lot of teachers even coming in and buying children's books and that type of thing from our Friendly Finds bookstore, which I should point out is open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday from 1 to 4. And every book they have is out for sale every time they're open, which people are still calling and asking when our big book sale is, but it's big book sale every day.
Now.
Yeah, so we strongly encourage people to come. And we had to close a few times during the bad weather because our volunteer retirees, even though we were open, figured it wasn't worth the chance to go out in that weather. So miss those days. Yeah, but they did a great thing. So do you expect that you're going to get a lot of new card holders with this?
I don't really have any expectations right now, but it'd be really nice if we could get a whole new group of kids coming into the library, and especially a lot of kids don't know about the public libraries, which is kind of sad. And so if we go in and have this program, then they're going to be more likely to sign up for a library card and visit us more often, and then that'll help with summer reading. They can then learn about summer reading that we'll have going on here in the summer. So this is coming at a nice time where we can tie things in together and, get them into the library for summertime, while they're, off. And so they can keep reading during the summer, because reading during the summer is very important to help keep that information and the knowledge they've learned fresh in their mind.
Yeah, it's just the skill, that reading is a skill, just like, throwing a football or being able to swim or sing or whatever. It's a skill and you have to practice it. And the little ones lose that very quickly.
Very easily.
And older kids can certainly, reading fiction is a wonderful thing, because you pick up so much information about the world, even though it's fiction. And I think that the kids who are widely read know so much more, do better on all those tests that they're always giving them, and just have a stronger perception of the world that helps them when they go on out there and do things.
I agree. So while this program is fun and you can win a trophy and prize money, it will have long-term effects on the kids, keeping them reading, and if this program is as successful as we're hoping, this will become a yearly thing, and then so more and more schools can start, getting into the idea of competing and getting their students cards and to the public library, and then us working with the schools and the school librarians. That's very important to us right now as well. So, this, like I said, it's fun right now, but this will be a long-reaching program that hopefully will benefit everyone.
Yeah. So maybe we should talk a little bit about not only come to the library card and check out books, but the reason it's so important to have a library card now with being able to get on the internet and do stuff. Let's talk about some of the amazing databases and research aids we have that you can use if you don't have good internet at home. Heck, I have horrible internet because I live out in the country. I don't have high-speed internet. I can come to the library and use it. But you can, I can even use it on my phone if you want to look stuff up. And that's the thing, everybody always goes to a search engine, but the thing is, you don't know what you're going to get, and you know that our databases are all checked, they're factual, it's the real deal, it's the correct information.
And the one database I always love to point out when I go to school function is the homework help, that it's free if you have a library card, a Peoria Public Library card, and that is amazing. You don't have to pay anything for the tutor, the online homework help, and it's a really easy format. It's like a little chat room between the student and the tutor, and so parents always seem very excited when I tell them about this.
Brain Fuse.
Brain Fuse, exactly. And so that's what I always push when I go to the schools. The students always are struggling with some subject or the other, and parents don't necessarily want to pay for a full-time tutor or lessons.
Well, and it's so far beyond that. They have so many auxiliary things on there too. Group projects. When my kids were going to school, it was in the country, and so the kids are very far away. Now I think even with kids at different schools around the city, you get put in a group for a group project. It can be impossible to get together. But BrainFuse, as well as some of our other databases, have a group workspace. You can actually do live chatting. You can have different people upload stuff. You can, put it all together. They have digital backpacks, all kinds of things. And I know that there's several other ones that ABCCLIL, which makes no sense to me why it's called that.
Don't know either.
That one's like a social studies
Yeah.
database. And that one is very cool too, because
Yes.
it's got, you know, different subjects, and it'll have the hot topics. And I don't know, do you get many kids coming in and asking for help with the databases, or is it just so intuitive that they fly right through it?
Both. They'll maybe need help getting to it specifically, but once they get in there, they're pretty smart and savvy as to what needs to be typed in where, or what search, you know.
I think that's referred to as digital natives.
Yes.
Do the digital natives know how to work it?
Yeah. So they're pretty good at, you know, getting through their own, you know, they might have a question or two, but for the most part, you know, they're pretty spot on doing it by themselves. You know, and oftentimes we, you know, are a little clueless, and they know more than we do, so it's nice.
Yeah.
And
there's other ones we have that have like a version for little kids and a version for older students and adults.
There's several that are like that you can do searches by age groups or levels, and you know, so you don't have to weed through all the extra, you know, try to find what you're looking for. So.
And for students who have to go look up things in newspapers, so often when you're out there on the internet, you can get the first paragraph or two, and you can't get the rest of the article without paying. But we have our newspaper database, our magazine database, where you can get the full text article. And then it's just unbelievable to me that you get the citation and boom, paste it in exactly the way you should do it.
Yeah.
I think about having a typewriter and trying to do footnotes and get it just right, and then having to retype the whole page because you did it wrong and it had gotten too messy.
Yeah.
Good grief, kids. This is back when I want to say, instead of walking 5 miles in the snow, do you know how many sheets of paper I had to count and turn on my, showing my age, but it's true. And how nice for them to just be able to do that and not have to fight with the formatting and be able to focus on the information.
Yeah.
That's
a lot of
thing.
People aren't keen on the online, you know, searching, but if you do it correctly, it can be better than the actual, you know, so you just have to know how to do it right and where to go.
And I know teachers often give kids the parameters of you can only have one internet source, but I think that they're not realizing
that it's not necessarily internet source. You're just getting the source through the internet.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's like the stuff we used to have in print, it now comes digitally.
Yeah.
But it is, you know, when they can give a citation and it's from a book or from a magazine or from a newspaper, is a whole different deal.
Yeah.
I think another one of our favorite services we offer is Tumble Books.
Yes, Tumble Books is such a fun website. I mean, it's got so many different options. It's not just a book being read to a little kid. I mean, it's all sorts of online version formats and fun, different things. I mean, you could spend days and hours just going through, you know, and kids love it. Yeah. And it's just fantastic. And that is free as well. You know, you just hop on our website and it's right there. And it's the easiest thing ever.
And you can create an account. You can save books. You can read a book and play a game. You can have it read out loud. You can have it where it lights up the words to help early readers. Yeah. They have classics for older students or adults
all
might
ages.
Want to go in.
Yeah, not just for the little, you know, little kids to have a book read to them. It's all ages. You know, it gives nice book lists. You know, if you're looking for a certain, you know, you don't have an idea of what title, but you have a kind of genre, it'll help you search that way, you know, or an author. So it's a very fantastic website.
And you can have things in other languages too, which I think is a book you might already know that's a classic or a children's storybook that you're familiar with, and you can have it read to you in French or Spanish or I don't know what other languages there are in there, but quite a few. So that's a lot of fun and great practice for either English as a second language students or for kids who are taking a foreign language in school.
Exactly, yeah.
And on that note, tell us about Mango.
Mango, that's my favorite website, really. It helps you learn foreign languages. There's, I don't know how many, but a bunch. I mean, not just
I think there's 32.
Yeah, I will say well over 20, you know. So there's a lot, not just your regular French, Spanish, German. But they have some really interesting ones. There's like Irish Gaelic, so the old time language of Ireland you can learn and, read things through that. They have one that was my favorite is Learn How to Speak Like a Pirate. They have a Learn Pirate. And I thought that was just so much fun to go through.
We had fun with that on Talk Like a Pirate Day because we were able to direct people where they could go pick up tips on how to talk like a pirate.
And not only is it English to your language you pick, but also a lot of the reverse. Not as many as the English, but there's a good many. So that's another good spot for ESL. You're learning English.
And in Peoria, we do have a lot of people who come from other countries to work at Caterpillar who have immigrated here, working at the hospitals. There's many people from many cultures and many languages around. And I know I've heard the story that there's folks who come and they'll come to story times because they're so desperate to hear any kind of English spoken, and maybe TV's not always the best place to get that.
Yeah, so Mango's really great. It's has several levels each language, so you're not just thrown into this high course. They'll start you off real slow and then build you up. There's pictures, there's audio, and it's just really simple and easy to use and fantastic.
Yeah, that's a great one to have some headphones for and be able to work with. Yeah. Well, and it's not all just online, and you certainly don't need a library card to come to story times, but
never.
We have so many story times. The thing that's great about a child having their own library card is you go to a story time, which I'm going to have you tell us about what you're doing, and then it's one of those early responsibility things like an allowance. You've got your own library card. You put the books on your account. You keep track of them.
Kids love to have their own little wallet or purse with their library card that they have to pull in and out. They love checking out by themselves with a new automated, no, Mommy, I want to do it myself. And so it's very exciting for them. And it is a sense of responsibility. Okay, you got your 2 books. Grab your receipt, with your due dates on it, and let's put it in your bag. So it's a very, it's fun to watch. These kids enjoy checking out, looking for their books, and it's usually always the same book they've just checked out.
They want the same book again.
Hey, if you got a winner, don't.
I think I could probably still quote Why Mosquitoes Buzz in People's Ears because I had a child that had to have that read daily. So.
Yeah.
So tell me about the story times at McClure Branch, the ones that you offer.
Sure.
What ages? What do you do in them?
We have a weekly story time. It's Wednesday mornings from 10 to 10:30. Our official ages are 3 to 6, but I don't really turn away any child and family. You could be a 2, you could be 8, 9, 10. An older sibling, they don't have to sit out. It's just, and then I try to have a theme. Like today's was spring, so we did spring stories and we made a little tissue paper tree with new blossoms on it. And so, I try to have funny story times each week. We also do, trying to get into the habit of doing a big Saturday story time, like twice a day on a Saturday. We have one this March and then we have one again in May. So we'll be doing that and see how that works. See if parents and kids like to come in the morning or the afternoon. And if both are successful, then, we'll continue to do 2 on that Saturday.
And that's something we should remind people is they should always feel free to tell us, hey, I'd, really like it if you did this at this time, or I'd like to see this kind of program. We're always looking for input. We don't change things because one person said that.
No.
But if we're finding out that, you never know when you'll have a new idea, just like show me your library card.
And while
comes out of casual conversation.
Exactly. And why I only have a story time on Wednesday mornings, we have a story time every day of the week at multiple times, morning and afternoon. So we can usually find you, if you say I'm only free such and such time and day, then we can see what's available. And, so.
And we have
a lot to
our
offer.
Web calendar you can check. We have our kid events, which is our paper printed, and we have Passages, which is our adult newsletter. Not as many of those are floating around as there are kid events. Kid events is easy to pick up, but that one's actually organized by age groups. So if you have a preschooler, you can quickly see where all those are. But I think more and more popular are the family story times.
That's what we're finding out. The bigger no age restriction. I know North has just a
they have pajama story time,
and that's all ages. They have all age story time, and so that's always very fun out there for when they do that.
Yeah, and always packed. But that works at night because you've already got the little ones in the pajamas. You take them home. If they fall asleep in the car,
that's fine.
You just put them right to bed. Right to bed, no problem. Well, and we've got about 2 minutes left. We should maybe start to give a little bit of summary for summer reading because everybody's registering their kids for camps and this and that, and it'll be May 1st when our registration opens.
May 1st starts registration, but the program doesn't start until June
9th, I think it is.
Yes, June 9th, whatever that Monday is.
That allows for a lot of those snow days.
Yeah, a lot of the snow days. School got pushed back a bit. So this year's theme is Pause to Read, so we're going to have a lot of animal, nature, think of paws like a puppy paw, cat paw, pause to read. So that starts at 7 weeks, like always. This year, we're trying a new summer reading party at the end of our program. It's going to be at the Peoria Riverfront Museum this year. So we are very, very, very excited about it. So that'll be, if you do 6 out of 7 weeks, you'll get a pass to our summer reading party, and that's free admission, free parking. We'll have the planetarium available, the exhibits available, the big theater available, and many other things. We're still planning on that. And of course, all our big grand prize drawings we do at the party. So this year, we're very excited about summer reading. It's going to be fun. We are partnering with the Peoria Humane Society. A lot of dogs. Therapy dogs. A lot of the program of the Pause to Read that they do where the kids can read to the dogs, that's going to be going on, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Amanda. So everybody want to be watching for summer reading, sign up. One thing you can do on your schedule instead of somebody else's, it's all on our website or at any of the branch libraries, and make sure that your child knows all about Show Me Your Library card coming up so that their District 150 school can win that prize. We'll see you next week on Information Please.